就是真相。怎么会是他？
A good movie changes your perspective. Today, I'm going to tell you a story about a rich kid who plots to murder his celebrity stepmother. This movie is recommended by K-star Luo Zhua. As a renowned local financial entrepreneur, Lin Tai was accustomed to media attention. However, this time was different. He was to appear in court both as a relative of the accused and as the boyfriend of the victim. The person accused of murder was his beloved daughter, Lin Mengmeng. The person killed was his girlfriend, the popular singer Yang Dan. According to police investigations, Mengmeng was heavily drunk on the day of the incident. She drove to Highway Building to confront Yang Dan about whether she was cheating on her father. In a fit of rage, Mengmeng lost her mind and drove into Yang Dan. Yang Dan was thrown several meters away, hitting a wall. Her head struck an iron nail in the corner, and she died instantly. Between his scandal-ridden celebrity girlfriend and his own daughter, Lin Tai chose the latter. He spared no expense in hiring top domestic lawyer Zhou Li to defend his daughter. Zhou Li is a tough lawyer skilled in courtroom tactics. The prosecutor assigned by the prosecution office is Tong Tao. Tong Tao is highly qualified, but since joining the prosecution office, he has always encountered Lin Tai's cases. Every time there's a trial, this financial mogul always has a trick up his sleeve to turn the case around. Either he recants his testimony in court or a scapegoat suddenly appears. Lin Tai has almost become an insurmountable obstacle in Tong Tao's career. This time, Tong Tao is determined not to miss this great opportunity. However, once the trial began, Zhou Li acted unusually. She consistently gave the same answers to the judge's questions.
请问辩护？不反对。
Hearing the same response over and over, even the director behind the screen couldn't sit still. At this moment, the case suddenly took a turn. When the fourth witness, Sun Wei, appeared, Zhou Li finally began to question him. Sun Wei had been a veteran driver working for Lin Tai's family for 15 years. Recently, after Lin Tai started dating Yang Dan, he assigned Sun Wei to work for her. On the day of the incident, Sun Wei was supposed to accompany Yang Dan to a performance meeting. However, Yang Dan received a phone call midway and hurried alone to the underground parking lot, not returning for a long time. When Sun Wei went to look for her, he only saw the back of an SUV speeding away, and Yang Dan was already lying in a corner with her head covered in blood. In a panic, he called the police, but he didn't expect that the hit-and-run SUV driver was actually the boss's daughter. Of course, this was just Sun Wei's testimony. Zhou Li listened to Sun Wei's account with disdain, because she had obtained an important document before the trial began, and this document was enough to prove that the so-called fourth witness was the one with a guilty conscience. Zhou Li attacked Sun Wei from two aspects. First, Yang Dan never respected him and often verbally abused him, which made Sun Wei resent her. Second, during the many years Sun Wei worked for the Lin family, Lin Tai had a long-term affair with Sun Wei's wife, which made Sun Wei, who relied on Lin Tai for his livelihood, too angry to speak out. At this point, Zhou Li even produced a photo of Lin Tai and his wife in bed, which was the crucial evidence she had just received. Zhou Li meticulously unravels the case, layer by layer. She is determined to get a satisfactory result today.
是的。然后你看到他属于半昏迷状态，是的。是的。然后你又看到他的头后面有一根裸露的钉子，然后你就抓起他的头撞向那根钉子，是不是？
不是的。
Finally, Zhou Li caught a slip in his words and got the information she wanted.
我恨他，知道吗？
It turns out that Sun Wei used this last nail to kill Yang Dan, all to take revenge on Lin Tai. The trial took an unexpected turn, surprising everyone. The court decided to adjourn temporarily and will reconvene in 3 days. After the trial footage was broadcast, the entire nation sympathized with the innocent Meng Meng and condemned the deranged driver. But Tong Tao didn't think so. Isn't this another elaborate scheme by Lin Tai? No matter how well the act is performed, a fake is still a fake. He knew that the truth was far more complicated than what was presented in court. Sun Wei has been a loyal employee of the Lin family for over a decade. He might be deeply attached and willing to create a false story to serve Lin Tai. As the assistant investigated, Tong Tao discovered that Sun Wei had He was indeed diagnosed with mid-stage brain cancer, and Lin Tai did transfer $2 million to him from a private account. However, the transfer was made 4 days before the incident, not after. Normally, such a transfer record cannot be falsified. But if this is true, it would be impossible to verify that Lin Tai bribed Sun Wei to exonerate his daughter after the incident. Tong Tao decided to investigate Sun Wei and his wife first. Sun Wei remained silent, but his seductive wife confessed everything about their actions. That day, she sold photos of herself and Lin Tai in bed to Zhou Li for $1 million. Her husband, out of resentment, killed her wealthy lover's official girlfriend. She, in turn, betrayed her dying husband with a single photo. In doing so, she not only helped her lover but also quickly ended her poor marriage, successfully becoming the biggest winner. All these explanations seem flawless, but Tong Tao still doesn't believe it. Lin Tai once caused his friend's father to go bankrupt due to financial fraud, which eventually led to a suicide. Tong Tao has witnessed Lin Tai's ruthless methods. In reality, he didn't truly want to be so strict. Moreover, Meng Meng was his wife's prized student. He knew Meng Meng's kindness, innocence, and liveliness. But the law is the law, and the truth must be the truth. He couldn't let his emotions override his reason to excuse any lie. With the second trial approaching, Tong Tao was still at a loss. However, just before the trial, Tong Tao suddenly received an anonymous email. It turned out to be information from a witness to the crime. The email indicated that Sun Wei was not the murderer. Tong Tao saw the complete video only during the trial. As the footage slowly appeared, Tong Tao realized that the real murderer of Yang Dan was Lin Tai himself. What a beastly businessman, killing someone and making his daughter take the blame, and then using a dying servant as a scapegoat. Tong Tao decided to submit the video evidence to the court. But at that moment, the video was automatically deleted due to a virus. After a 10-minute recess, Tong Tao decided to exploit Lin Tai's weaknesses and take a bold gamble. He repeatedly brought up Yang Dan's numerous rumored affairs with various people, suggesting she was unfaithful to Lin Tai. Skillfully, he twisted these stories to highlight Lin Tai's physical shortcomings. Then, he shifted all the blame to the night of the incident. Finally, Lin Tai was provoked.
所以我开车撞了他，我把他撞成肉泥，懂吗？不是用钉子扎死的，撞成肉泥，撞成100次都不多。
The scene became chaotic in an instant. Even the usually quiet Meng Meng suddenly lost control.
你不要这样说，法官，不是这样的。
混账！我会死在龙背前哦。
Another unexpected twist, however, Jolie just watched coldly. She knew exactly what was happening and why. Everything on the field today was orchestrated by her. After the last trial, she began to doubt her own judgment. She had only set a trap for Sun Wei based on the small hints given by Sun Wei's wife, and unexpectedly, Sun Wei fell for it completely. Moreover, after that trial, Lin Tai did not show any surprise but remained calmly calculating. Therefore, she continued to track down Sun Wei's cancer diagnosis and the payment. She never thought that after so many years of fighting cases for others, she would be the one being played. However, at this point, there was no turning back. While pondering, she received an anonymous email offering to sell her a video of the crime scene for $2 million. After verifying its authenticity, Jolie bought the video. As she suspected, Sun Wei was not the real culprit. The true murderer was Lin Tai. This touched Zhou Li's professional bottom line, which is to never give false testimony. She couldn't tolerate Lin Tai using her, especially since this man framed his own daughter from the beginning. However, as a lawyer, she had no position to expose her client. But Tong Tao, who was on the opposing side, could. So, she sent the email to Tong Tao, personally orchestrating all the changes for the second trial. The video was only broadcasted but couldn't be retained as evidence. This exposed the truth without the evidence being traced back to her. At the end of the day, she is a businessperson just like Lin Tai. Lin Meng Meng has finally been acquitted, but her father ended up in jail. Jolie looked at Meng Meng's sorrowful expression and recalled the entire process of the two trials. Suddenly, something came to her mind. She then opened the purchased private video and compared it with the surveillance footage from the initial trial. The scenes in both videos seemed identical, and the sequences were logically connected. However, she still noticed something was off. In the surveillance video extracted from the court, Sunway clearly steps out with his left foot first. However, in the video he purchased himself, Sunway steps out with his right foot first. This is clearly a reconstruction of the scene after the event. Jolie immediately calls her assistant to investigate Lin Tai's recent activities. Finally, Jolie finds herself in Lin Tai's hometown, Sioux County. This replica parking lot is now abandoned, with rows of cars neatly lined up. Through the hazy air, Jolie seems to see a father anxiously planning to save his fallen daughter. This is the truth. She needed to hurry back, but she was still a step too late. Lin Tai had already confessed to all the crimes. Lin Tai knew that despite his many years of dominance in the business world, but he's just an ordinary person. The courtroom was now empty. Jolie hurriedly found Lin Tai, who had already been detained. Lin Tai, once a formidable figure, now appeared as nothing more than an old father. He declined Jolie's offer to defend him for free. He knew that as a prosecutor, Tong Tao would never let him go. This was a straightforward criminal case. The case was exactly as it initially appeared. Meng Meng committed vehicular manslaughter while driving under the influence. In a panic, Sun Wei, who was unaware of the situation, called the police and Meng Meng was arrested. After Meng Meng's arrest, Sun Wei, who had always been on good terms with the Lin family, offered to take the blame and go to prison for Meng Meng, as he didn't have much time left to live. His always virtuous wife also joined in and started fabricating stories. She portrayed herself as a wanton woman reaping the benefits, but all this did not escape Jolie and Tong Tao. Lin Tai had anticipated this situation and Tong Tao's relentless pursuit. So, he had someone recreate the crime scene in advance and had the butler record a video. This time, however, he was the murderer. Everything was ready. Lin Tai had the butler anonymously send the video to Jolie as a witness. The truth would be forwarded to Tong Tao, who would remain passive during the second trial. Tong Tao had hated himself for so many years. As long as I get caught, Meng Meng's suffering will end.
你相信它是真相，它就是真相。怎么会是他？
他才是本案的真凶。
他直觉必须从那儿查起，才能弄清楚林泰的内心。
What Colin didn't expect was at this moment, Tong Tao found his hometown, Sioux County, because of his poignant words, "I will die behind the dragon back wall." It turns out that the dragon back wall is not a wall but a mountain, with a myth of a father and redemption behind it.
每当重阳节和中
The old Dragon King, to protect the young and naive little Dragon King who made a grave mistake, went to the heavenly court to face punishment himself. The little Dragon King, seeing his father burned all over by the heavenly fire, couldn't help but step forward to confess. However, to keep his son silent, the old Dragon King smashed his head against the nearby adamantine wall, dying instantly. After his death, he transformed into the dragon back wall, eternally bearing all the sins of the little Dragon King. A father is to blame if he doesn't teach his child well. Once his daughter goes to prison, her life is ruined. Lin Tai cannot just stand by and watch his daughter fall into an abyss. He is willing to endure endless suffering, like the old Dragon King struck by lightning, to give his daughter a chance at a new life.
你会是一个善良的、厚道的、受人爱戴的宝贝。爸爸爱你。